Hey, this is Jason Morris with Real Estate Agents That Really Work, and you're listening to my Expired series. You can listen to the whole series. The playlist is at jasonmorrisexpiredmaster.com. So, guys, if you like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel, join my Facebook group, Real Estate Agents That Really Work. And, okay, guys, I want to tell you, I want to give you guys 10 reasons property expire. Most agents just think that it expires because of price, but and and price is the big reason lots of times because hey, if a property's worth $200,000 and you listed it for $300,000, nobody's gonna buy it. I mean, price is the biggest motivating factor in lots of cases. If there's a problem with the house, you can usually adjust the price and overcome that problem. Um, but price isn't the only thing that affects the sale of a property sometimes. But we'll say that's number one because there are a large percentage of the expireds that do expire. It's because of price. And lots of times it's not a big um, price adjustment. It's just a little small price adjustment, like 5%. Sometimes it's just $5,000. Getting it under that price level. So like our MLSs in most websites search by tens or 20s. So, if somebody's searching under 100,000 and their price point was 105, you know, that property missed a lot of searches online. And so sometimes it's just that little bit of price reduction, that little bit more that put it above one of those thresholds, and it just didn't get the searches that it should have got. So expireds is probably number one. Number two is pictures. And these aren't in any specific order, but pictures, that's your first impression. I mean, I went on expired appointments and I've looked at the pictures that were in MLS, and sometimes there's not any. There's the bare minimum, like the picture of the outside, but there's no pictures of the inside. You can't see the beautiful master bathroom. You can't see the amazing kitchen they've got, the amazing tile flooring, the enormous bedrooms and stuff. So people just assume, like, hey, it probably looks really bad if there's no pictures. But pictures are the first impression people have. People don't just go visit properties anymore. They look it up online, and it's just like everything. If you're searching for T-shirts and you're on some T-shirt website or Amazon, you don't like this one, you click next and look at the next one. That's how people are. Pictures are your first description or your first impression. Second thing is the description of the property. You can take a house that, let's say, instead of it being on, one lot, maybe it's sitting on 2 or 3 lots, but you don't put that into your description, and all of a sudden you go from a house that's like a really good deal because of the extra land that comes with it to a house that the price kind of sucks. You look like you're the most expensive one in the neighborhood. Or, you forgot to mention in the description that this house has an enormous bonus room on the back, or it has a swimming pool in the back. You didn't take pictures of it. You didn't mention it in the description. And sometimes, that affects the sale of the property. Number 4, syndication. Okay, this sounds insane to me, but most MLSs, once we put a listing in MLS, it automatically syndicates all over the internet. It's on every website that has a property search that includes that area. There are actually offices out there that think that by controlling their syndication, they are doing a better job of marketing for their client. And sometimes brokers in charge, they're living back in the 90s and the early 2000s where they think that syndication is bad and Zillow shouldn't have your listings, and they will actually turn off syndication. So what happens is somebody looking for a house in your market, it's not on all the websites. So it's not going out on e-alerts. The people that have, systems like Conversion and Boomtown and Market Leader. So if it's not syndicating, nobody's really seeing it unless it's being sent directly from MLS. And that is actually happening in some markets with some offices. So number 5, this probably should have been number 1, but these aren't in any specific order. Number 5 reason why properties expire sometimes is just the agent. They picked a bad agent. The guy never answered his phone. He never set up showings. He never communicated with other agents with interested parties. He never followed up with showings. They just had an agent that sucked. I mean, maybe the agent wasn't really knowledgeable about the area, so they didn't know how to write a description. They didn't have like a nice camera or even a good cell phone camera, so they didn't take good pictures, or they took the pictures and never uploaded them. Sometimes the agent just sucked. They never answer their phone. If they don't answer their phone, they have no other showing instructions. How are you going to show the house? I mean, and people can't look at the house. That really, really drives down the amount of buyers that you're going to have or potential buyers for it. Um, number number 6. Okay, I've seen this in more rural areas. You know, the agent, sometimes the community won't allow this, but I see it a lot in rural areas. The agent just didn't put a sign out front. And a lot of these guys, they're not as, not everybody's as tech savvy as we are as agents. They're not carrying their cell phone around. That's literally like a supercomputer. Um, and there was no sign out front, so nobody ever knew it was for sale. The neighbors didn't know it was for sale. The neighbor probably had a family member that really wanted to live next door to him, but wasn't a sign out front, so they didn't know it was for sale, and they didn't happen to look on the internet for it. And I mean, sign can be a really big deal in some markets in some more rural areas. So um, the next reason is no access because of tenants, and I see this kind of often. I see this kind of often with properties that I deal with a lot of for rent by owners, and I see this kind of often. Sometimes the tenant, most states that they require 24-hour notice if there's tenants in there, and sometimes the tenant just won't let the property get shown. I mean, I had one during the Christmas holidays that they didn't want it shown until after Christmas, so we missed out on like 4 or 5 potential buyers. And nobody wants to make an offer hardly on a house that's sight unseen unless you're in a super, super hot market. Um, and so the tenants didn't allow it to be shown, and so nobody looked at it, so nobody made an offer on it. Number 8, no access to the property because of the owner. This is a big deal sometimes. I mean, and sometimes, a lot of this goes back to the agent. The agent didn't explain to the owner, hey, look, people are going to need to see your house. I had one while back that the owner, she always felt like her house wasn't clean enough. And I'd call her and say, hey, we got somebody who wants to look at your house tomorrow. And she'd go, oh, my house is a mess. Can we make it for the next day? Or can we make it for later in the week? And, the agent's only showing them property tomorrow. They're not showing them property all week, So then she'd call me back and say, oh, well, I can't show it tomorrow. I didn't clean. She called me back the next day going, I cleaned up all night. They can come look at it. It's like, well, it's not really in their schedule. So if the owner's being difficult with access, sometimes, a lot of times it's not that. It's the agent is the problem. The agent just didn't explain properly. If they had a strong agent, the agent would say, hey, look, if you want to sell your house, you got to allow people to go in it. Number 9. Number 9 is the condition of the property. And a lot of times, this can be overcome. Like, for example, I listed expired a while back that the house had been sitting empty for a little while. Somebody had stole the air conditioner. Nobody wanted to buy the property without the air conditioner. So, when I relisted it, I just explained to the sellers, hey, look, guys, you're gonna have to put a new air conditioner in it. You can wait until we get a contract and we get closer to closing to do it. But if you want to sell it, you want to get financing on it, you're going to have to put a new air conditioner on it. It could be the age of the roof. If the roof's 20 years old, sometimes that's a big deterrent, especially on, homes that the roof's going to be really expensive, or either homes that the, are in lower price ranges. A $6,000 to $8,000 roof's a big deal on a $75,000 to $100,000 house. So sometimes it's the condition. Now, the condition can always be overcome by price. and either you add to the price to include that roof being repaired or that air conditioner being replaced or whatever it is, or sometimes you take away from the price and adjust it for those things that compensate the buyer for going to do it themselves. Now, the 10th reason I see a lot of properties expire is because of financing. Um, and what this means, if it's a condo complex and it's in litigation, a lot of banks won't lend for it. If the house doesn't have an air conditioner, it usually won't get approved for FHA financing. If the house doesn't have flooring in it, it won't get approved for FHA financing. So, in a lot of those things, you can overcome those by, educating yourselves on what to do and how to get around it. If the roof is bad, you just tell the seller, hey, look, guys, you're going to have to do something with the roof. If it's missing an air conditioner, hey, guys, you got to do something with the air conditioner. If it's missing flooring, maybe the carpet looked bad and they thought it was a good idea to pull it up. I've seen sellers do that. They think like, oh, wow, we could just pull up the flooring and we don't have to worry, the flooring looks bad, so let's just pull it up and leave the concrete floor or the wood floor, and the problem with that is once they pull up the flooring, then the bank won't finance it. So they're better off sometimes to leave that old flooring down and offer a credit to replace it versus pulling it up, eliminating the financing options, and allowing it to be sold with a credit, towards flooring, offering a credit towards flooring. So there's a lot of ways to overcome, these obstacles and stuff as to why a property expired. But properties don't just expire because of price. And price in a lot of markets that are moving upward and appreciating, sometimes price, the price that it expired for a month ago, 2 months ago, is not the price that is a price that it would sell for today. So in a rapidly appreciating market, you can't price it usually on comps like you do in a market that's going down or that's flat. So guys, that's 10 reasons why properties expire. There may be some other reasons. I mean, sellers are crazy. Sometimes buyers are crazy. I'll give you number 11. I've picked up some listings this way. I just listed one this way. I had one. Well, the expired. What happened? Their previous agent put it on the market. About 2-3 weeks in, they get a contract on it. Okay, the contract, the listing agent brought the contract, so it just kind of sat there, and nothing happened. The appraisal was never done. The agent really just did nothing, and the buyer was having trouble with financing, but they never relayed it to the seller. The house ends up. It was a 90-day listing. The house goes past 90 days, it expires. Sellers are thinking, hey, well, we got a contract, it's going to close, and the agent was kind of stringing them along. Finally, after like 4 or 5 months, the agent goes, oh, sorry, they can't get financing, fell apart. Well, you ready to get it back on the market? The people said no. This agent had allowed them to basically think for 5 months that their house was going to sell. This was a house that was sitting empty. And, sometimes it's random things. And I mean, that really goes back to that was the listing agent. That problem was the listing agent is what it was. And sometimes, they pick a bad agent. I mean, picking the agent is more important than just, hey, put it on MLS and hoping for the best. So guys, this is my Expired Master series. It's available. The whole playlist is available at jasonmorrisexpiredmaster.com. If you're thinking you want to work expired listings, get the best expired data out there. Call RedX, tell them Jason Morris sent you, and they have several expired programs. They have their regular program, then they have a premium program called Onyx. They only sell Onyx to agents that are actively prospecting in their market. So if you're looking for expired data, think you want to work the expired list, call RedX and get yourself set up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're already working expired and you're looking for more lead sources, look at my book, 53 Strategies to Get More Listings. It's available on Amazon. Thanks, guys.